All right, welcome to my YouTube live stream section. Welcome to the live stream section. I don't know whether I should make this thing to be this way. Yeah, I think making it this way is going to be better since it covers up everything. Sorry, let's make it this way. All right, I think this way is better. Yeah, I think this way is better. All right, welcome to the live stream section once again. So, we'll be treating some important aspects in chemistry as far as you're writing JAMB in chemistry. So this is chemistry on the board. So we have chemistry, and there are some important aspects of chemistry when it comes to the calculative aspect. I made a video, I've made a live stream, I've also dropped a video where I talked about stereochemistry, more concept, right? Calculations, more concept, right? So today we are going to be discussing, we are going to solve questions that are based on isotopy. We're going to solve questions based on isotopy. We're going to solve questions based on empirical formula. Empirical formula. We're also going to solve questions based on molecular formula. Put my mic is on. Yeah. We're also going to solve questions based on molecular formula. That is the molecular formula. And we're also going to solve questions based on percentage composition by mass. Percentage composition by mass. Right? So these are the four aspects of chemistry we are going to be dealing with in the course of this class. So we are going to start with the isotopy. From isotopy, we are going to move on to the empirical formula. From empirical formula, we are going to move on to molecular formula. And from molecular formula, we are going to be moving on to talk about percentage composition by mass. Right? So these are basically what we'll be treating in the course of this class. Right? When it comes to the concept of isotopy, you cannot run away from questions. As far as you are writing JAMB or as far as you're a secondary school student, as far as you are offering chemistry, right? You cannot run away from questions based on this particular word concept. So I have questions here. I have past questions here with me that we are going to be treating based on the concept of isotopy. So we are going to be starting, we are going to begin with isotopy. Let's claim this once. We are going to begin with the concept of isotopes. It is believed that the relative atomic mass of what element is not what whole numbers. It is believed that the relative atomic mass of elements are not what whole numbers, and that is why you always see them having points, right? For example, chlorine, which is what 35.5, right? So what is isotopy? Isotopy is what a phenomenon whereby an element, whereby a particular element X, right, has what the same what atomic what number. So let's say this is the atomic number to be n, and we have this is the same element with atomic number n, but different what mass number. So different what mass number. When you see this, you say this exhibit what the concept of what isotopy, and the elements that exhibit isotopy are known as what the isotopes. Elements that exhibit isotopy are known as what isotopes, right? So this is just how what it is. So we are going to be solving questions here. This class is basically solving our questions. Let me take out another marker. We are going to be solving questions. Welcome to my live stream section. Please make sure you subscribe. Please subscribe so you continue getting updates. So let me take out my past questions with me. Right. So what I have here right now, this is JAMB past questions that I copied because I cannot bring the book and start holding here. I cannot just bring out the book with you understand. So I have my past questions with me. So we are going to the first question here. The first question says chlorine. Please, if you are from my tutorial, if you are from my WhatsApp tutorial, please comment. Let me know. Let me know those persons that have joined this class. So we have chlorine exists naturally as two isotopes. Chlorine exists naturally. So we have question number one. It says chlorine exists chlorine exists naturally as two isotopes. Naturally as two what? Isotopes. I don't know whether I can see the, but let me check from my end, yeah? If I can see. Okay. I cannot speak Indonesia or only speak English language. So you say chlorine exists naturally as two what? Isotopes. Let me use my black marker. So we have the first isotope to be what? 35 Cl and what? 37 what? Cl. That is a what? Atomic what? Masses, right? In the ratio of what? 3 is to what? 1. Calculate the calculate the RUAM of chlorine. Calculate the RUAM of what? Chlorine. When I say RUAM of chlorine simply means the relative atomic mass of what? Chlorine, right? Chlorine exists naturally as two isotopes, mass number 35 and mass number what? 37 in the ratio of what? 3 is to what? 1. Calculate the what? Relative atomic mass of what? Chlorine. So the first thing you simply do is say what? Solution. The first thing you do is say what? Solution. So you say what? Solution, right? So we want to solve for this. We want to solve relative atomic mass of what? Chlorine, right? We want to solve for the relative atomic mass of what? Chlorine. So now the first thing you simply do is very what? Easy. What you simply do is very what? Easy. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love, right? So the first thing you simply do, you say what? RUAM, right? That's the relative atomic mass. Relative atomic mass. RUAM, right? Equals to, now when we say in the ratio of 3 is to 1, that means that this 3, the 3 is related to atomic mass 35 and the 1 is related to atomic mass what? 37, right? So in the ratio of what? 3 is to 1, what you simply do, you say what? Atomic mass, I want to give you the formula. Atomic mass times the what? The ratio. Atomic mass times the what? Ratio over what? 100, right? Atomic mass times the ratio over atomic mass times the what? The ratio, right? This is atomic mass times the ratio over what? The ratio. Atomic mass times the what? Ratio over what? Ratio. So this is what? 3 is to 1. 3 is to 1 equals to what? 3 plus 1, which equals to what? 4. Right? So our ratio here is going to give us what? 4. Right? Let me know if you are watching this tutorial from my WhatsApp group chat. If you are coming from my WhatsApp group chat, please let me know. I want to know those people that are following this class. I want to know those people that are following this class from my WhatsApp group chat. We have our WhatsApp group chat. You can also be part of our WhatsApp group chat. So if you are coming from there, please let me know. Because I've done this topic before and I found out that a lot of people have issue based on this particular topic. That is why I am taking it live. So we have the atomic mass times the ratio over what? Ratio plus the atomic mass times the ratio over what? The ratio, right? So we have atomic mass of 35, sorry, yes, 35 times what? 3 plus 37 times 1 over what? 4, right? So let me bring out my calculator. 35 times 3, coming. So we have 35 times 3. 35 times 3 is 105 plus 37 times 1 is 37 plus 37, right? Divided by what? 4. So 105 plus 37 divided by 4. Sorry, divided by 4. Excuse me. 105 plus 37, right? Divided by what? 4. Let me get this calculator is giving me All right, so my mic went off, and nobody told me that my mic went off. My mic went off, and I didn't get any response from anybody. Please, let's follow this class. Let's follow this class. All right, let's follow this class. So we have 880 divided by what? 100. 880 divided by 100 was what? 8.8. 8.8, right? 8.8. So you say 12 plus 8.8. What we have there is what? 20.8. So 20.8 is a what? Relative atomic mass of this particular what? Element, which is known as what? Element what? X, right? So that is how what we get what? Isotopy. That is how we get the concept of what? Isotopy. Then we have the next question here, based on empirical formula. The next question is on empirical formula. The next solving is on empirical formula. Please, let's follow. If my mic is not on, please let me know. I didn't even know my mic was off, and I've been pushing hard without actually getting a reply. So empirical formula, we have the first question. It says a compound contains 40% carbon. We have a compound contains 40% carbon. A compound contains 40% carbon, comma, 6.7% hydrogen, 6.7% hydrogen, and 53.3% oxygen. Determine its empirical formula. Let's define its empirical what? Formula. Find its what? Empirical formula. Solution. Right? So solving for empirical formula is very what? Simple. To solve for empirical formula is as simple as what? A, B, C. So what you simply do is that you read the question once again. It says a compound contains 40% carbon, 6.7% hydrogen, and 53.3% oxygen. Find its empirical formula. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Gives me more motivation to continue dropping videos like this. So it says solution. He lists down all these what? All these elements and their what? Percentage what? Composition. So you say what? Carbon equals to what? 40%. Hydrogen is what? Hydrogen equals to 6.7%, and oxygen equals to 53.3%. Right? So now you list, since we have listed them here, right? What you now do is that their percentage, right? This is 53% for oxygen, 40% for carbon, and 6.7% for what? Hydrogen. So let's say carbon, hydrogen, and what? Oxygen. That is true. So what you simply do, the first rule of doing this, it says the first rule number 1 is divide the percentage composition. Divide the percentage composition by their atomic masses. By the atomic what? Mass. So carbon is 40%. Carbon is going to be divided by carbon, right? Which is what? 12. We have hydrogen, which is 6.7%. It's going to be divided by just what? 1, right? And we have oxygen, which is 53.3% divided by what? 16. That is our relative atomic what? Mass. So punch your calculator, you get your answer for this. Let's punch our calculator. This is 40 divided by 12. 40 divided by 12 is giving us 3.3. 6.7 divided by 1 is going to give us 6.7. Then we have 53.3 divided by 16. What we are still going to have is what? 3.3. Right? So this is the first what? Step. This is the first step you would undergo. So let's clean up here. Let's clean this since we already have all our values down here. Please, I hope you are filling up because as time goes on, we may likely clean here. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also be part of my JAMB WhatsApp intensive classes as low as 5,000 naira monthly. If you are ready to smash JAMB UTM in 2026, then investing in my online class is one of the best decisions you will take. Chat me up on 070. Chat me up on 070 6246 2746. That is my WhatsApp number. Chat me up on WhatsApp so that you can get to know more about our classes. So this is the first step that you will take, right? 40 divided by 12, 6.7 divided by 1, and 53.3 divided by what? 16. After the step number 2, it says divide all through. Divide all through by the smallest value. Divide all through by the smallest what? Value. So we have 3.3 here. We have 6.7 for hydrogen, and we have 3.3. So the smallest value here is what? 3.3. Right? So you divide 3.3 throughout 3.3. Sorry. 3.3. 3.3 divided by 3.3 is what? 1. 6.7 divided by 3.3 is 2. And 3.3 divided by 3.3 is what? 1. Right? So that is just how what it is. That's for step number what? 3. So that's for step number 2, sorry. So now step number 3 is you assign these numbers, right, these molecules to each of the what elements. Remembering that here is for carbon, here is for hydrogen, and here is for what? Oxygen. Right? So what we are going to have here is what? C1, right? C1, H2O1. But in chemistry, we don't bother writing one here because we already know that this is automatically one molecule, even though we don't write this word 1. So for the purpose of understanding, so we have C1H2O1, which is simply CH2O. Right? So this is the word empirical word formula for this particular word question that was given to what us, CH2O. Right? So that is the word empirical word formula. Right? So that is just how we solve what empirical word formula. Let me also solve one more question so that you will understand. Let's solve one more question, then we move on to the molecular formula word aspect. The molecular formula is very, very what? Simple. Okay. The question I have here is straight to molecular formula, not empirical formula again. Right? So let's see how we can get it. Please subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. I think I am currently at 2074 or 2076. So just take me to 2080 subscribers. Just take me to 2080 subscribers, please. Thank you. All right, so let's continue. Let's continue. But if you can get me to, if you can give me extra 100 subscribers, it's still going to be fine. It's still going to be better. Because I'm going to, if you do like that, I'm going to get over motivation, excessive motivation, right? So we have the next question here, which says the empirical formula of a compound. Okay, the same question though. The same empirical formula says the empirical formula of a compound is CH2O. If its molar mass, that's mm, is 180 gram per mole, determine its molecular what? Formula. Determine its molecular what? Formula. So whenever you see a question like I see it, or I used to tell people, I used to tell all of my students, is that whenever you see a question, the first thing is Najib. Najib, you are welcome to my live stream section. So one of the first things I tell my students is that, Najib, please subscribe. What I tell my students is that when the moment you see a question, the first thing you have to do is say what? Solution. Right? So the empirical formula of a compound is CH2O. Sorry, CH2O, yes. If its molar mass is 180, determine its what? Molecular what? Formula. Excuse me. So to get this, what you simply do, you say what? Open bracket. You see this molecular formula. You see this empirical formula. Put it inside this bracket. Represent it. Introduce an unknown, which is n, equals to what? The molar mass, which is what? 180. Right? The n here is the word unknown, and we have our word 180. Right? So now look for the word relative word. Look for the word molar mass of this particular word element here, or sorry, for this particular word compound. So you open the bracket, C, which is carbon, right? You say 12, 2 times what? 1 plus what? 16, and equals to what? 180. Why this is happening is because this is what? Carbon. The atomic mass of carbon is what? 12. The atomic mass of hydrogen is what? 1. But at this particular point in time, there's 2 molecules of what? Hydrogen. That's why we say what? 2 times 1. And we have 1 molecule of what? Oxygen here, which is what? 16. Right? So 180. So what you simply do, bring out your calculator again. Punch your calculator. And you say 12 plus 2 plus 16. 12 plus 2 plus 16 is what? 30, and equals to what? 180. So this n here is going to multiply with this what? 30. So what we are going to have here is what? 30n equals to what? 180. 30n equals to 180. So now divide all through by the word coefficient. A coefficient is a number attached to what? A letter. So 30 over what? 30. Right? So 30 is going to cancel itself. You are going to be left with what? N equals to 180 divided by what? 30. 180 divided by 30 is going to be what? 6. N is going to be equals to what? 6. We are not done, no. We are not what? Done. Remember, let me clean this up here. So we are not what? Done. Now note, this n here is same thing here, right? So we have now known that the unknown n, this n, which is the unknown number, equals to what? 6. So you now bring it back here. You will now say CH2O, which is what? 6. Right? CH2O, which is what? 6. So what this means is that this 6 here, which is outside the bracket, is going to multiply with all the element which is inside this what? Bracket. So the first thing is 6 times what? C, right? Which is what? C6. The subscript is going to serve as the what? The subscript. Is going to, this 6 is going to serve as the what? Subscript. So 6 times what? 2 is going to give us what? 12. That's for the hydrogen, and oxygen is going to give us what? 6. Right? So at this particular point in time, this is the what? Molecular formula. This is the molecular what? Formula, and CH2O is the what? Empirical what? Formula. The molecular formula is the true formula of a compound. The true formula of a compound is the molecular formula, while the empirical formula is the simplest formula of what a compound. So the simplest formula of a compound is the what empirical formula, and the true and authentic formula of a compound is the what molecular what formula. So that is just it for empirical formula and the what molecular what formula, right? So that is just how we solve empirical formula and molecular formula. Let's hit on to the very last, which is the what percentage composition by mass. And for the percentage composition by mass, I have just one question here. For okay, I think I have one question. Yes, let me check. For the percentage composition by mass, I just have one question here. Now the question goes, let me write the question so that we all can be on the same page, right? It says calculate the percentage of oxygen let me clean the box. Calculate the percentage of oxygen in H2SO4. That is tetraoxosulfate 6 acid. Tetraoxosulfate 6 what? Acid. The percentage of oxygen in tetraoxosulfate 6 acid, where H, that's the atomic mass, is 1 for hydrogen, sulfur is 32, and oxygen equals to what? 16. So you say what? Solution as always. Now solving this is very what? Easy, right? To solve this is very what? Easy. The first thing you have to do is to solve for the molar mass. The first thing is for you to solve for the what? Molar mass of that particular what? Compound. And I've made videos talking about how you can be able to solve questions based on what? Molar mass. So to solve for the molar mass, simply say what? H2SO4, right? Molar mass of H2SO4 is going to be equals to 2 times 1 plus 1 times 32 plus 4 times what? 16. 4 times 16. So we have 2 times 1, which equals to what? 2 times 1 equals to what? 2 plus 1 times 32, which is equals to 32 plus 4 times 16, which is equals to what? 64. Right? So now you add. So it says 64 plus 32 plus what? 2. Right? Which is equals to what? 90 what? 8 gram per what? Moles. That is the unit for what? Molar what? Mass. Now to solve the percentage of oxygen in this particular what? Compound, we are looking for the percentage of what? Oxygen in this particular what? Compound. What you simply do, I mean, there's 4 molecules of what? Oxygen here, right? So what you simply do, it says what? 4 times what? 16. The 4 here is the molecules of what? Oxygen that is found here, times the what? Atomic what? Mass, which is what? 16. So you say 4 times what? 16, which is what? 64. So what you simply do to solve for percentage composition of any element, you say the word elements, molar mass of that element over the total what? Molar what? Mass. Over the total what? Molar what? Mass. So what we have here is 16 times 4 is what? 64. So we have here is 64 over what? 98. 64 over what? 98. So 64 divided by 98 is going to give us what? 0.6. 0.6 So that is the what? Percentage composition of oxygen in what? H2SO4. percentage composition of oxygen in H2 SO4. So that is how we are able to solve problems when it comes to what the percentage what composition, right? That is how we solve problems based on percentage what composition. So this live stream is a very short live stream section. We have solved question based on isotopy, empirical formula, molecular mass, molecular formula, sorry, molar mass also, and percentage composition of what element. But I didn't go deep into this particular one, but I've given you the formula for you to follow in order to get this particular what source, right? If you love this video and you wish to continue getting videos like this, please don't forget to hit on the red subscribe button and also share my videos to your friends. Check out my videos, they are very, very helpful. Share it also to your friends so they can come here and get value, and in turn I'll feel motivated to continue dropping videos like this. And like I said, you can be part of my WhatsApp intensive JAMB 2026 class, cover chemistry, physics, biology, and English language. And apart from that, we also supply with study materials, checking you up daily, making sure that you are studying, right? So if you are serious in smashing JAMB in 2026, then sacrificing 5,000 naira to register for this class is not going to be a very big deal for you. And until I see you in my next video, always remember that you're wonderful, always remember that you're unique, and always remember that you're a pace setter. I really love you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.